What's up, fellas? Happy Wednesday. Chuck Silver and Smitty here with Occupy Fantasy to bring you strategy for DraftKings and FanDuel. We have a crazy slate today. I will let you know this might be the lightest volume I've played all season. Usually I say we can take advantage of these, but half the league's already ruled out. The other half is questionable. Some people are late ads, and it's just a mess. So, lean into your leans like I've been saying. And Smitty, how we feeling about today's slate?
Yeah, kind of how you said it. It's kind of just a mess. I'm not playing as much as I normally would. I'll probably just play a few lineups. Yeah, overall, it's just a slate to probably not go too heavy in.
Yeah, I'm only in on DraftKings and the mini max through 100 in there, and then the cheap 20 max is a $4, $1, and 20. I feel like $200 in play today. It's not that much, but we're still going to try to do our best. The Nuggets kind of complicate things because their entire starting five is questionable. We saw some people sit last night. Uh, Spurs are a mess, and then FanDuel, the slate's different because they have the New Orleans Pelicans playing the Clippers as that late game. I don't know why they didn't just cut off all the late games on DraftKings, but we have what we have. The first game of the day, Sacramento versus Washington. Let's just jump into it. So Sacramento, DeMantis, 28% owned after his price jumped. He was just too low owned when his price was low before. I think this is a starting point here. DeMar DeRozan also very owned over on FanDuel. For Sacramento, the injury report is pretty clean. They're only missing Jake LaRavia and Devin Carter. So what were you looking at on Sacramento?
Yeah, on DraftKings, I'm getting to Sabonis at a decent amount, center only, so that kind of sucks. FanDuel, power forward eligibility, I think he does look better there. And then the DeRozan ownership, not really sure about that on FanDuel. I don't think I would be at that. I'm not playing FanDuel, but I'd probably be at the minimum half of his ownership.
Yeah, I don't hate it. The 7600 price, very model approved, and so I came in actually right around the field, and I'm probably okay with that. Not sure I want to be too over, but the model loves him today. I was thinking about how the model's been loving OG Anunoby, and we're going back to OG today, but DeMar is pretty strong. Over on DraftKings at the 8% ownership, a little bit higher price. He still worth some shots, still elite by model standards. And then the other guy that stood out here that I don't know, Keegan Murray, he's a fine tournament play, but his value scores kind of jump off the page at 4 and 7% ownership.
Yeah, I always like playing him. I think he's just kind of the last piece in your lineup. Sometimes he hits, but he has a decent floor just because of his rebounding.
Yeah, and it's like with Keegan Murray, I just think he has to hit threes and he has to get rebounds if he's going to get there. At these ownerships, I'm taking some shots. What do you think about the Zach LaVine pivot off DeMar? 7K price seems pretty good, even with Malik Monk back in the lineup. And what about Monk too? Even though the model hates both of these guys actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather play Levine, especially at half the ownership. I'm fine with it. I think you could play other plays on the slate too. You don't really have to pivot to them, but I do think Levine's a pretty decent pivot at only 7K.
And like this is a really awesome matchup. 13-point spread, 232 total. Like 13-point spread, whatever. We know the Kings are going to be on the court in the fourth quarter if the game is within reach. The Wizards, I don't know. Wizards are doing what they do. Jordan Poole put up 50 in three quarters yesterday. That was fun. Looking at the other side of this game, Washington, Keyshawn George is still out. Chris Middleton's out. Marcus Smart's out. Koulibaly Kispert's still out. And Kobe Jones is questionable. Is that like an injury, or do you know if that's a G League thing?
I'm not sure.
Well, his price is 4K over on DK. We don't even have him listed for minute. Oh, we do. I'm sorry. 24 minutes, 2% owned, 4K. Model doesn't really love him today. Just wanted to mention that was the only piece of injury news here. Who are you looking at on Washington?
Yeah, I'm not getting to very much. I have like a sprinkles of everybody, but I do think Sar looks the best, and then Champagne if he starts, I think he's worth a few shots. But it's mainly Sar for me, and then I don't hate like taking GPP shots on some of the other guys. Jordan Poole's still cheap if you want to play him. This isn't a game that they're probably going to win, so his minutes should be okay at least. So I think he's worth a few shots, but it's mainly just Sar.
Yeah, I said it last time, and I actually crossed Pool out of my pool yesterday. He didn't end up being in the winner because like 17 guys went off, but at 6K, it just, we're probably only going to get 25, maybe 27 minutes on a good day. He's probably not going to play the fourth quarter. 4 and 6%. Apparently, he's worth a couple shots. I don't know that I'll be getting there too much today. I do have about the 6% right now, though. And then I've been over the field on Champagne every day. Model is still identifying him as an elite value at 2 and 3%. He's had a couple bad games in a row. I'm going to go right back. I'm probably don't have more than 10%, but I'm definitely over this 2% as of right now. And then Carlton Carrington, you have any interest in some GPP shots around, basically around 13 value on both sides. Pretty decent ownership.
I have a couple percent of him. Not a priority to me, but I'm fine taking some shots there.
I think he put up like 38 at 1% owned last slate, so it's kind of what we're hoping for if we play him tonight. Let's see. Rear, we need a hit like today. Hey, they tend to come in bunches, so we have a week left to take advantage of these slates. Then we get some, a little bit of relief when the playoffs start because the rotations are going to be tighter. We can reliably predict minutes more. Players won't be sitting out, so we will get there. Nobody's late swapping or playing the late games. Yeah, dude, especially if you're on FanDuel today. I guess DraftKings has a Denver game too, but there's just so much to swap to. And I imagine we're going to have a lot of exposure to the Spurs anyway. We should have exposure to Denver, so we should be able to swap and make whatever changes we need to. What's the next game, Knicks? Smitty, do you like Delon Wright against Cleveland?
No.
No?
No.
Dang. Well, so we got the other point guards already ruled out, McBride and Campaign. Let's take a look at Delon. He had a pretty phenomenal game yesterday without Cat. Played 33 minutes, 29 fantasy points, 12-4-4, 3 steals. Like, this is a phenomenal game for Delon, right? It's exactly what I want if I'm playing him. He's up to 4,500. He was 44 yesterday. Model, single-digit value, we know is not great. 13% ownership. You weren't getting there at all in your exposures?
I have 8%.
I'm right around there too. Yeah, single digit ownership. I'm okay with it. I want him in there, but once again, my priorities on the Knicks are going to be OG, Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and then Model has Josh Hart below these guys consistently. I still want to mix him in, and then Cat. I mean, I wish he was like 2% owned, but I guess we could still mix in a little Cat. What do you want to do with the starting 5?
Yeah, I don't mind getting to a little cat. It's mainly OG for me. I think OG is still a good play, good positional eligibility. Bridges to me is too expensive, but I don't mind mixing him in like a few percent. I'm kind of with you. I like Josh Hart quite a bit. I think it's OG and Hart for me, and then the other ones I don't mind just getting a few percent of.
Yeah, I'll mention right now if the slate started with what I have about 25% OG and then no one else on the Knicks over 10%. So I clearly like OG the most, but definitely mix in Hart and McHale. These are really strong OF indexes. I'll mention Mitchell Robinson's out for rest too, and I forgot about your Q&A yesterday since the slate started kind of late, and you gave kind of a key piece that would have helped yesterday. Fade Precious. What do you think about him today with no Mitch Robinson?
Yeah, I just wouldn't play him.
Precious, yeah, it's just I don't know. What's he have to do to stay on the court?
Yeah, I just don't think the ceiling is really there at all.
Yeah, I don't think I disagree. Especially he's up to 3,800. It's much different than the 3,300 he was yesterday. And then over on FanDuel at 4,800. I mean, is he worth more than 0% if you're making 150? Maybe. But we have better options we can get to today. And the Spurs are going to be a big part of our exposures. I imagine our power forward spot's going to be filled by a Spur. Jose 358 and barely min cash. Dude, I think the winner on FanDuel yesterday had like 480 and it still wasn't perfect. They missed on one guy. So it's like 500 plus was the optimal yesterday. It's just insane what these scores are. Like I had such a good lineup yesterday and I go look at what's projected to win on FanDuel and they were ahead of me by like 50 fantasy points. I'm like, where are these 50 even coming from? And it was before Jokic even started playing. So Kongwu sucked yesterday, but we're taking tournament shots on him again today. Smitty, do you think the Denver starters play to try and move up in the seeding since Russell Westbrook lost him the game last night?
Yeah, Denver's pretty good about that. Like, I think they'll play.
It's like all 5 of them are questionable. MPJ was, I guess Jamal got ruled out too. So they all have different stuff. A couple are sick, a couple have injuries. We'll get into it more when we get to Denver.
Yeah.
If Champagne gets hot, they pull him out. They cannot win another game, dude. It's really important to get Cooper Flag. I don't see it, but I guess. Other side of this Knicks game, Cleveland. So we have an 11-point spread. I guess 10-point spread. Maybe that moved. You like the Knicks' chances of staying competitive in this game? We're not planning for any type of blowout here.
Yeah, yeah, it should be all right.
231 total. Looks like Mobley and Donovan are the popular pieces here. Darius is pulling a little bit of ownership. Struce, Hunter, Jared Allen not really getting much, but Jared Allen's actually at the top of DK value here, although no one like really stands out. How do you want to handle Cleveland?
Yeah, I'm not really getting to anyone on Cleveland. DeAndre Hunter's my highest exposed. I have 5% of him. Everyone else I have less than that. Like Donovan Mitchell, we're showing for 25%. If the slate started now, I have like 3%. But if you want to get there, I mean, I think he's an okay option, just not what I prefer.
I'm on the complete opposite side of you on Donovan. I have a bunch of him. I'm like off Mobley today. This is on DraftKings. I have a ton of Donovan Mitchell. There's no Dean Wade. There's no Ty Jerome. And this isn't a spot where I want to try and figure out who the backup is, like which backup's going to get extra run. I kind of just gave extra points to Donovan, Darius. Those are the only two I bumped, but I could see getting to the other guy. So it's interesting that you're completely off Donovan. I might lower that exposure a little bit then. Just 8,800, 9,100. These are okay DK values. This is a really strong OF index for him, and we're going to have the value once again. And in the early games, I think we target the studs more so than the value. Hope for better value later. But I don't know. That's interesting. What about Evan Mobley?
He's all right.
He's all right. Yeah, not too into it either, huh?
No.
So, like, do you have your single entry built? Do you know how many Knicks are in it?
Knicks?
Mm-hmm.
None. No
None.
Knicks.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I
No
don't know. I
Cleveland.
guess I'm a little surprised. All right. I kind of thought this game was going to be a bigger deal today. I really like targeting these, like both of these teams for fantasy in this matchup. I know it seems kind of tough on the surface, but I don't know. Smitty's having me rethink it a little bit. Anything else you want to mention here?
No, I think we're good.
Charlotte, Indiana is the next game. Miles Bridges Q tag, Nick Smith, Taj Gibson Q tags. Lamelo's out for the season. Arthroscopic surgery on his ankle. No Trey Mann, no Grant Williams. So I'm getting very little exposure here. I wasn't expecting much, but once again, I'm going to take tournament shots on Miles Bridges. He finally did it last time. Model still hates him today. What's your interest in Miles Bridges and anyone else here?
Yeah, I don't mind getting there. Okay price. Still, you would have to bump him quite a bit to get like a meaningful percent of him. But at 1% on DraftKings, I don't hate taking shots. The price looks better on FanDuel. I'd probably get to more there.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what we've been doing. The 8,400 on FanDuel at 8%. I still want to get over if I was playing on FanDuel today. And then over on DK, I'm going to have more than 1%, but I don't know that I can even get that into double digits because, like Smitty said, I have to bump him pretty ridiculous to get a decent amount at 9,200. But I love the matchup against Indiana. 16.5 point spread sucks. 222 total seems really low. Is that low, Smitty?
Yeah, Charlotte plays really slow, so
Okay.
it's not that weird, and they just suck. So
I will point out not a single player here stands out in the model. Saloon is playable on DraftKings, and then Miles is fine because he's the pay up. But other than that, I don't think we have to really get here at all.
yeah, Saloon's my highest exposed on DraftKings. I have 5% of them. I
I
think
like
he's fine.
I like him. I like the kid. I like him for DFS. I like him in real life. I want to mix him in. Oh, Taj Gibson got ruled out, so I don't know. It could be a few more minutes for someone. Nick Smith ruled out, and Miles Bridges is in.
Okay.
Nice timing. Indiana. Well, I'm going back to Tyrese Halliburton a little bit. I don't think he's super low on 17 and 12%. It seems appropriate. I'm with him on with the field on DraftKings, and then I think it's just tournament shots on everyone else. Did anyone stand out to you?
No, not really. Don't mind taking shots on Miles Turner, but he is center only on DraftKings and FanDuel, which is makes it kind of tough. And then his price on FanDuel is kind of ridiculous. But on DraftKings, I think, like you said, Halliburton, and then maybe like a share of Siakam or two, but all just GPP plays.
Yeah, that's the tough part about Miles Turner. The price is good. Model likes him on DraftKings. 7% sounds great. It's a guy that I want to make sure I don't have 0% of, but I don't really want to have to force him into my lineups because if we have other better centers, I mean, Miles Turner has to put up that game and he's not blocking shots like he used to. But Model still loves him every day. 9.0 if an index is good. This is a guy we can mix in a little bit. Anything else in Indiana?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. FanDuel cash plays. I'll flash the let me refresh this. I'll flash the top owned for you. 70% Julian Champagne. Why did I bet all his unders? He's probably projected to start since Vassell and Sochan are out. Stephon Castle. Yeah, I mean, like I said, lots of Spurs, probably a bunch of sack guys. Apparently, Dylan Brooks is popular over on FanDuel. We'll dig into that. Donovan, he's probably the cash pay up. He's the highest owned. Anything else you want to mention for here?
No.
Top spend up. I mean, just going by the model. Jokic, like it is in a league of his own again. SGA Demantis is probably a pretty good one. His price came up a little bit. He should probably be closer to 10K. The ownership's there. These are all solid plays right here. Just pay attention to the ownership. Oh, on FanDuel specifically, I mean, SGA and Jokic are pretty low owned. Tatum, 2%. Not sure we love that against Miami. But yeah, top of OF index, these guys are all solid. What's the best game to get to, Smitty? I think the Spurs, right?
Yeah, Spurs game.
You like Houston to push for better seeding? It's one of the teams we're not worried about them losing minutes. Let's talk about Miami and Boston, though. Miami, I have like 5% total exposure to this team. Are you getting more than me?
No, I think they're pretty rough to get to. Hero's just too expensive on DraftKings. I don't know. I don't know who you would play here.
Kyle Anderson, Haywood Highsmith, and Davion Mitchell, 1.5% of each. It probably goes away by the time lock starts. Not a single player stands out. Once again, Pele Larson is borderline, projected for 0% ownership. If he starts, I'm going to have more than 0% probably, but I'm going to have to bump him up. He's been fantastic, but Davion should be back tonight. But didn't Pele have that good game when Davion was in 2 games ago?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm trying to think if someone else was out. I think everyone was in except for Davion last game. So I'll be comfortable firing up Pele again. We haven't projected for 27 minutes. Terrible matchup, but at 0%, it's a guy we can get to.
Yep.
What about on the other side with Boston? Keep ragging on Tatum. I thought he was going to do it the other night, but I think he only ended with like 49. He was on pace to destroy, but no one on Boston stands out either. No one's pulling ownership. Who do you want to take GPP shots on?
Yeah, it's hard to get excited about anyone in this game. 212 total, pretty disgusting overall. Um, I don't know. I think if someone gets ruled out, then they become a little bit more appealing. But in such a low total, like, I don't know. I prefer paying down for people, and there's really no one to pay down for. But I don't mind taking shots on Porzingis or Jalen Brown.
Yeah, this news is going to be key, and we'll probably get it as soon as the slate locks. This is in the second set of games. Al Horford's doubtful. Drew Holiday, Kristaps, and Jalen Brown are all questionable. Did you have any more information than that on if anyone's likely or not likely to play?
No, I don't.
I had it pulled up, but we have so much news going on. So just keep an eye on that, and we kind of know if people are ruled out, the other guys get better. And same idea with Cleveland. I think just give a boost to the other starters. There's no one off the bench that should really benefit that much. Maybe if Drew Holiday's out, what's Peyton Pritchard's price? 6K. I mean, on DraftKings, I can't pay 6K for him today. 5,400 on FanDuel. If Drew Holiday and Jalen Brown are ruled out, we can consider him. But more other than that, I think we just stick to the starters. And if everyone's in, no one stands out at all. Next game, Utah, Houston. On the Utah side, so Walker Kessler's in, Clarkson is out, Markkanen's out, John Collins is out, Cody Williams is out for the season, unfortunate, and Jaden Springer's questionable. Actually got 0.5% of Jaden Springer. But what do we do with Utah? No one here is pulling ownership either.
Yeah, these games are gross. I think out of all of them, it'd be Kessler and Sexton for me. I think they make the most sense. This isn't a game that they're even going to be in contention in, I don't think. So their minutes should be okay. So I don't mind getting to Kessler or Sexton.
You skipped that slate a couple days ago when it was Johnny Juzang and Sensabaugh Chalk Day, right?
Yeah.
Sensabaugh put up like 38 or something stupid. And I'm just sitting there like I have 50% Juzang because Juzang stood out in the model way more. Juzang is still the top value on this team from DK, projected for 0% ownership today. I don't mind having more than 0. That's kind of how I feel about all these guys. If I have a couple percent, I'm okay with it. Like you said, Walker Kessler, Sexton probably stand out the most. Filipowski's not bad. He should play the fourth quarter. even if the game's out of reach. But other than that, I mean, they're just GPP shots.
Yeah.
I guess Filipowski on FanDuel has a good value score at 6,600, 3%. That's fine.
What's Sensabaugh score, like 35 actual points? Because he does nothing else.
No, he got steals, dude. Here, I'll pull it up
Oh,
here.
he does do that, yeah.
He had 36 fantasy points, 19, 3 steals, 5 assists, and 1 rebound. Like you said, he doesn't do it else besides score points and get steals. He only played 26 minutes, dude. Just
That's
ruined the whole
crazy.
day for everyone. Best game of the season. But 4,900, it's a really tough price to get to. I don't think we have to get back to him today. He was 3,900 last time. It's much different. Um, where am I? Houston?
Yeah.
Another team, yeah, another team I have less than 10% total exposure of. At least guys are pulling ownership here. Always okay taking GPP shots on Jalen Green and Sengun. It's just with Sengun, it's so tough because we're getting value centers every day. I'm not getting any Sengun today. What about you?
Sengun, I have 2% Sengun. Just don't seem like a priority to me.
It's just so tough because even if he puts up, like, what are we hoping happens when we play Sengun? The other value centers don't get there. Jokic doesn't get there, and Sengun puts up like 55. Is that even enough on today's slate? Because if a value center has a good score, you're just going to need whatever players put up the most drop points. And so, from like a in a vacuum, Sengun is a great play today against Utah. But looking at it from an overall lineup construction point of view, I just don't see paying up for center unless we're paying up all the way for Jokic or maybe like
Yeah.
some bonus or cat. But he has the ceiling, Sengun. It's definitely possible he's in there. I just really don't understand this 21 and 14%. With that said, very model approved. Model loves him. So if you can find the lineup construction to get him in there, then that's fine. What else on the Houston were you looking at?
Nothing really. I'm getting over the field on Tari Eason. I think he has a chance. Like even if this game's not real competitive, he might play into the fourth. Other than that, I mean, Dylan Brooks is under 5K. I don't hate that on FanDuel. And then I don't know. That's pretty much it. FanDuel and then DraftKings is just kind of GPP plays to me. I don't think anyone really stands out.
I ran a very rough set on FanDuel. I wanted to see how much Dylan Brooks I was getting if I played today. Okay, not that much. I would be below the field, but I'm getting more exposure to this team on FanDuel than I would on DraftKings. I'm always okay with getting over the field on Tyrese, and I don't care who's in. I don't care if he's off the bench. He's 4% owned, and he's 5,600 on DK. Not really model approved, but that's fine. Amon Thompson's here. Fred Van Vliet's here. Yeah, these guys are all tournament plays, man. We're about to get into the real juicy part of the slate over these next couple games.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, because it's been really boring so far. Like, yep, don't play anyone here, don't play anyone here. But we have Atlanta. We have some guys we want to play here. Zachary Ricochet, top of value. I can't believe it, but I'm over the field on this guy every single day now. I'm over on Dyson Daniels every day. Trey Young, apparently, I'm with the field today. And then Onyeka Okongwu, I had to bump up. His price is getting uncomfortable. I still don't mind taking shots against Dallas, though. He has a 10.3 OF index and borderline elite value on both sides. What do you think about the Hawks?
Yeah, like you said, Ricochet is who I'm getting to the most of here. I think he looks pretty solid. I'm not getting to Trey as much, but I do think he's a good play. And then Dyson, always fine taking shots on Dyson. Scores better for FanDuel, and his price is caught up on DraftKings, so would prefer him on FanDuel. And then Okongwu, he's expensive, but I don't mind taking some shots there.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same deal I just said with Sengun, right, on a Kongwu. It's really tough to get there. I have 3%, and I kind of had to force that in, so maybe that even just goes away by the time this game starts.
Yeah.
I mean, Carousel Vert, I got a few percentage of too. Model doesn't hate him on a DraftKings 4,600 at 10%. That's probably fine.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like he's probably just like a last piece in that I just keep landing on.
Yes, I agree. And I just want to pull up Trey Young's box score from yesterday because it for sure got lost in the in the Steph Curry mess. But Trey Young had a monster game, 63 fantasy points. Didn't even matter because Steph put up 100. But he's doing pretty well. Don't hate the Dallas matchup. Got a percent of Muhammad Gaye too, assuming he's starting. Should I just cross that out?
Yeah.
Okay. Other side of this game, Dallas. And as for the injury report for Atlanta, I mean, no one else that we expect to be out would be out, and Trey Young's probable, so shouldn't have any changes there. Actually, Was Vit Krejci in here? I'm gonna mention Vit Krejci. Just remember him if he randomly pulls a start for some reason. He's 3,700. He doesn't project well if he doesn't start, but if he happens to start, and honestly, even off the bench, it's not 0%. Don't use a lot of exposure on him, but if you're making like 100 lineups, land on him twice, that seems okay. Dallas has Anthony Davis back. Last time we got word he was on a 28-minute limit. We haven't projected for 31. I've just been crossing him out every day. I don't really see the point in playing him at all. And then the only other guy I'm getting here is Spencer Dinwiddie and a few GPP shots on Klay Thompson. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't mind that. Pretty much where I am, I don't mind taking shots on Najee Marshall. We show him at 0% ownership. Is that right?
Najee? No.
Yeah.
4 and 16.
Oh, I might need to refresh. But yeah, I don't mind getting to a little bit of Najee Marshall. I actually think AD's in play at his price.
Okay.
Not someone I would want like in a ton of lineups, but I think he's worth sprinkling in. They've been pretty true to his minutes limit. And, in a competitive game, I could see them kind of letting him get to 30. So I don't mind it.
So PJ Washington was ruled out 30 minutes ago, but something changed in the model in like the last 10 minutes with this team because AD's OF index slightly came down. Najee Marshall's ownership went up. His values went up too. And then Spencer Dinwiddie, 9.7 OF index at 11%. I think I was ragging on him a few weeks ago, but now I don't hate it because we have pretty good confidence he's going to play minutes. They don't have another one who can run the offense. I mean, Jaden Hardy is he just straight up back?
I think so.
Okay, so I guess Jaden Hardy is there. So just consider that with Spencer Dinwiddie. I don't think Jason Kidd likes Jaden Hardy at this point though. He had his chance and he pissed him off. So I don't know. And Max Christie, this is 9% and 7%. Why? I don't think we have to play 10% of Max Christie at all today. That's bizarre. I don't think he comes in with this ownership. I'll just mention Derek Lively's also questionable. Would throw another wrench in that big man rotation since Gafford is also back, and then Caleb Martin's probable. Anything else you want to mention from the Mavs?
No, I think we're good.
Looks like Najee Marshall at 6,300 at 27%. That's probably a pretty strong piece over on FanDuel. Let's see questions. Yeah, PJ's out. DK Core, we'll go over a dummy. We should have time today. Denver for our Pickett for Denver. It's not bad to mix him in. You should be able to swap to a Spurs guy, but it's probably better if you just plug in Spurs and then swap to Denver guys once we get that news, unless you need to like set your lineup up so you can pay up for Jokic or something. Then put Jokic in, yeah, but other than that, you should be able to make the swaps on both sites, I would think. Smitty, would you consider playing Cat and Sabonis in the same lineup?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I know I said that thing about there's some cheap centers that we're interested in today, so I'm not sure I want to pay up for one center. Cheap centers, I mean, Bismack Biyombo, Paul Reed. Sandro's pulling massive ownership. He didn't get the start yesterday. Zubac, Jared Allen. I don't know. Maybe we don't have those value centers that I thought we did. Smitty, who are your highest on centers?
Jokic and Sandro, Biyombo, Paul Reed.
Okay, you're getting to some Paul Reed, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I am getting to Paul Reed too. Jokic and Paul Reed are my two highest owned centers. Jokic, I have like 90% right now. Paul Reed, I have a lot. And then no one else is over 10%. So, yeah, I guess I'm just paying up or paying down completely. And with Paul Reed, it's Isaiah Stewart's out. Feels like a shepherd night, huh? Hey, man, like I said, if you see something, go for it. I don't see the minute ceiling for him, but stuff can happen. Marshall getting the start for Washington. Who is Marshall on Washington? Martin?
I don't know.
Is that Martin? I don't know who that is, Jose. Well, we'll go to the game of the night, the Spurs at Denver. Holy crap, man. 100% Champagne, 80% Sandro, 60% CP3, 60% Stephon Castle, 40% Harrison Barnes, 26% Keldon Johnson, 15% Bismack Biyombo, and just for good measure, 2% of Blake Wesley. Are you anywhere close to that?
Yeah, yeah, I have a ton. Gonna have to go through and like fix some stuff because I have 41 lineups that have five Spurs. I don't know if I really would want to do that, but I mean they are cheap. There's no one even over 7K. Castle's the most expensive. Probably would be the one that I'd be most likely to get away from. I'd rather just play the cheap guys. Champagne, I think he looks good, and then Sandro, Biombo, assuming he starts. I think he looks good. And like you said, I'm getting to a couple percent of Blake Wesley as well. And then Keldon Johnson. I don't know, just everybody here I'm pretty much playing.
This is the best team to target. It makes too much sense. It's weird. So Bismack is second in value. Sandro is third. So the model's implying Bismack is the better play, especially with the ownership difference. But I'm gonna agree with the field here that Sandro is a better play because, like, yeah, Sandro can fail, but if we get a ceiling from Sandro, that's pretty powerful. I don't know what a ceiling from Bismack looks like. It's possible, but what kind of rules do you want to set here?
I don't know. it's I don't really know if you can. Like it's pretty tough.
Yeah, and that thing you said about getting a lot of five stacks with the Spurs, it's the only time I can ever remember taking down a GPP with five players from one team and they were on the Spurs. And it wasn't even quite the situation like this. It's just they're so cheap. So I set zero rules. That is right now in my single entry. How many Spurs are in here? Oh, it's only four. Castle, Mamu, Chris Paul, and Champagne with Jokic and Paul Reed, Donovan Mitchell. I mean, that's a chalk. This is going to be duped 100 times. I'm probably going to have to change that. But, dude, there's four Spurs in every single lineup. Five Spurs, three Spurs, five Spurs, six Spurs, dude.
Yeah,
No, I'm
that's
just
about where
kidding.
I'm at.
Not six, but I might just cap it at four and be done with it. I don't know that I'm good enough to set these groups here. Maybe one of Bismack and Sandro, but I'm not really getting that much Bismack, I guess. I don't want to set any type of rules with Harrison, Keldon, or Champagne, I don't think. And so I think I might just do max four and be done with it. But I said it before, if you're getting five in a lineup, it's probably not bad. But just consider the kind of scores that have been putting up lately. We have to get a ceiling from these guys. There's a lot of value guys are going to put up good scores, and there's some studs that are going to do it. So you really just got to nail the value guys. So I do think we want to keep it to four on DK, and four is okay on FanDuel too.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention about these Spurs?
No.
No.
Just be watching for what the starting lineup looks like, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have a Jayhawk in the Discord starting in about 10 minutes. Instructions to join that are in the description below. Maybe we can perspective on these Spurs from Jayhawk. He's been giving out some fire in the Discord too. Let's see. Denver on the other side. Did we get any updates on a injury report here?
No.
Nope. Someone got ruled out. Fred VanVleet just got ruled out?
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
That's the only thing I've seen, and then a Cavs starting lineup.
Okay. Cavs are just regular starting lineup. No issues there. We'll go back to Houston, and then the Knicks are starting their regular guys with Delon Wright in there. So for Denver, Jokic questionable, Porter, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Christian Brown questionable. I had this pulled up earlier. The one with illness, because Jamal Murray, I think it's his hamstring. He's not sick, right? MPJ is the one that's sick.
I think so.
I don't know how much it matters because I don't even know what to do with that information. But yeah, how are you handling Denver right now?
I don't know. I'm just assuming everyone's in for now. It's a game they're gonna want to win, so I'm just assuming everyone's in. It's hard to guess like on an illness tag, but on the ones that are injuries, at least I think they just play if they can.
Yeah, my exposure like all the Jokic and then just sprinkles of everyone else. I probably got to bump them up, but like I said, in the event one or two people are ruled out here, like I just told you, I have 500% exposure to the Spurs. It's not going to be hard to swap. We're gonna have the salary. We're gonna have the salary because of Jokic, so it's gonna suck if we have to swap off of him. But if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do.
Yeah, pretty much my whole exposures are to these last games, so it'll be easy. I have 98% Jokic right now if I were to lock in my lineups.
I love it. Hasn't worked out for me on a single day I've done that this season, but I love it. I love the idea of it. It's
Me
things
neither.
that like just take the risk. We should be doing it. Last game of the night on DraftKings anyway, Detroit at OKC. So Paul Reed is the chalk tonight. He is not the chalk, but he is occupy value. This guy's going to be in our dummy for sure at 19 and 10% ownership. So this is a volatile spot. He should not be like 50% owned because there is a wide range with his minutes. So we're interested in him because I thought Isaiah Stewart was out. Yeah, Isaiah Stewart's out. I don't know why
Yeah.
he's not in here. And then Cade Cunningham was still doubtful. Tobias is probable. We got him ruled out after lock last time. I don't know if I want to mess with that, but Tobias super stands out in the model at 4 and 3%. So probably just have to take that risk a couple times. Are you similar to me? You're getting a ton of Paul Reed.
Yep. Yeah, him and Asar mainly for me.
Same. How comfortable are you with that Paul Reed exposure?
I feel good about it. Almost minimum price on DraftKings, and the game that they probably get blown out in, and he probably plays blowout. So I feel fine with it. Like his 18 minutes could turn into 24, and then he just kills you if you don't have him.
Yeah, these min price centers, it's just, I mean, we've seen it almost every single day recently. Nurkic did it the other night. Nurkic only played like 17 or 19 minutes too, and he put up that monster score. And we know Paul Reed used to be B-ball Paul. I don't know if he's B-ball Paul these days, but top value on this team from Detroit. Tim Hardaway looks really good. What's his ownership? 6 and 2%. He put up like 40 last week. I don't mind mixing in a little bit of Tim Hardaway, right? Asar is down here though. If Tobias is in, if Tobias gets ruled out, then we're probably going to be playing a lot more Asar because we saw his minute ceiling kind of jump when Tobias was out. Anything else you want to mention from Detroit?
Yeah, the model don't really love Asar, but I think he's okay. Not like what you would call a priority on this slate, but a decent guy to fill in. And then I still don't mind mixing in Schroeder, Jalen Duren, but this is a terrible matchup.
I can't believe I forgot to mention Schroeder. I don't mind it at the ownership. Model has him as elite value on both sites. Really strong OF index for the price. It's a 13.5 point spread, but if they, I mean, even if they keep it within 13, I'd have to think Dennis Schroeder's playing well. Where is Marcus Sasser? Marcus Sasser. He's out today too, so there's no one to back up Dennis Schroeder. Maybe I guess it's Malik Beasley running the point. That's it. Yeah, Schroeder's a pretty good under owned play today. Terrible matchup, but I like that.
And Lindy Waters.
I was gonna say Lindy Waters, but 3K. You interested?
No, maybe like on a small slate or like the night slate. I wouldn't mind taking a few shots.
We've seen him do it on the Warriors. He's not really a point guard though. I kind of just think of him hitting a few threes, right? Lindy Waters the
Yeah.
third. Other side of this game, OKC. So we can pay up for SGA as kind of a pivot off Jokic, depending on what positions you're getting to in value in your lineups. And then again, shots on Kason, Lou Dort, Jalen. I really don't like playing Chet, but he's down to 7,200 at 3%. We can take some shots there. Let's see. What do you think about that SGA pivot?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I'm around the field right now. I just have so much Jokic that it's hard to get there, but I don't mind getting to a little more SGA. And as the night goes on, depending on how your lineups are doing early, I think you could swap Jokic to SGA and move a few pieces around, especially if you're losing.
Yeah, maybe if you're trying to min cash, that's a decent swap because the whole field's going to play Jokic tonight. If you have him and you're not cashing, it's not going to help you cash because everyone else is going to have him too. Anyone else from the role players that you want to talk about more?
No, not really. I have a few percent of Chet. I think Dort is like a filler play, but probably not needed on this slate. I think you just go cheap.
Yeah, I agree. And you guys know that Kason Wallace, when the model is in, we're in. Model's not really in today, so 1% could still be worth a few shots. Last game on the slate. This is only on FanDuel. I tend to talk about things in terms of DraftKings. So if you're playing the night slate or showdown there, you got something there too. I actually have more exposure to this Pelicans team. Would have exposure on FanDuel than I thought. What were you looking at here? Antonio Reeves, top of value.
Yeah, I don't mind getting to Reeves on FanDuel. Pretty good price, 4K. He scores better for DraftKings, but still fine to mix in. Alvarado, he's okay. 20% seems about appropriate for him. Then I'm always fine taking shots on Makovich, power forward eligibility. Other than that, I think they're all just GPP plays.
Yeah,
Maybe like Kelly O, but his minutes are kind of everywhere.
Alvarado's been bad, man. He's not giving that score we want. Did his price even come down on FanDuel a little bit? It's crazy. His whole team got ruled out for the season. 20% ownership on FanDuel. I was slightly over that, so I would be comfortable playing him today. Antonio Reeves on the night slate. This could be a shot. I imagine he'll be owned since he's value and he's kind of obvious value, but model really likes him today. And if you can get to him there on FanDuel, it's a nice piece to have from the last game to try to make the difference at the end of the night. I'll just mention the other guys, Matkovic, Missy, Olynyk are all here. Zion's out for the season, so we'll see what kind of run these guys get. And my boy Keon Brooks, man, this guy put up 40 fantasy points last time at 1% owned. I had a lot. He's 4,100. It's a little different than the min price that he was before, 1% on FanDuel. I think you're actually the guy that told me about Keon Brooks the first time. Were you still looking at him tonight at his higher price?
Yeah, I still think he's fine to get to. Like 24 minutes is probably fine. You'll want a little bit more than that if you play him, but either way, I think he's definitely in play.
It's just their guys are out. He got that fourth quarter run last time. I mean, he was playing really well, so that helped him stay on the court. At 1%, again, I'm biased because he won me a tournament last week, but I kind of like it. Marshall getting to start for PJ Washington. Yeah, right. Even with AD back, he should.
Yeah, should.
Oh, Jose was asking for PJ Washington, not for the Wizards. Got you, Jose. I misunderstood. Misread that. What three Spurs do we like the most? Smitty, what's your top three Spurs?
Let's see. Champagne, Mamu, and Harrison Barnes right now.
That's actually my exact order, too. Yeah, I want to bump Keldon up a little bit, and I'm going to reduce Sandro a little bit. I don't know. It's kind of uncomfortable. If he ends up starting, we're probably playing 100%, but off the bench, this is really high ownership. That's a decent leverage spot if he ends up failing and you don't have him. But he's so cheap. Doesn't matter that much anyway. Doesn't have to do a lot.
Yeah, and he's power forward eligible.
Um, oh, nice. We finished the slate. I thought we had another team to talk about. You don't think Joker plays? He played in 2 overtimes last night. Doesn't matter. They need to win. If you think that though, go ahead, go for it. It's not something that the field is planning for, and like I said, everyone's going to have all the exposure available to make swaps anyway. But it should still help you with your base lineup at lock. How do we feel about McConnell? Maybe a percent or two as a GPP play. Do you feel differently, Smitty?
He wouldn't make my pool.
Yep. Just play anyone on the Spurs. I don't know. Ranking the Spurs is hard because they're all really good. We really don't know the minutes. These are probably good guesses, but I don't know if I feel comfortable ranking them. I'll just say Bismack and Champagne really stand out on DraftKings. Then Mamu and Harrison and Blake Wesley, Chris Paul, Keldon, they're all in that next category. Apparently, Stefan is the one we should get to last, and that's probably true because he's the most expensive. Sure, he might be the best player on this team right now, but we want to focus on the value here, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I think Castle's my least favorite, even though like you said, he's the best player on the team.
I love that. Stefan Castle, the best player on the Spurs, even when Wemby comes back. Oh, Smitty, you're going to go off tonight. Power's fading, Jokic. All right, Power, dude. I hope that works out if you get it. Obi Toppin, again, we have the Spurs guy, so he's just a really deep pivot off of these guys. Because it's like, could Obi Toppin put up a score that would win us a tournament tonight? Sure, but we can't reliably predict it. We can reliably predict these guys to put up a good score for their price. Damn, a lot of people don't think Jokic plays well. Hopefully, I'll be able to spend the salary on someone if we get that. I mean, it shouldn't be too hard to swap to SGA if.
Yeah.
But it's just, I mentioned a lot of my center exposure is on Jokic and Paul Reed. And so I actually might be in a tough position at center on DraftKings if Jokic gets ruled out and those two are taking up my center and util spot. It's something to consider. How many Spurs to play with Jokic? Probably 3 or 4. Got in just now. Do we think Joker plays? Yeah. Let's build a quick dummy, Smitty, and get out of here. Should we just plug in these two, Paul Reed and Jokic, to start?
Yeah.
We got the Wizards starting lineup. I saw someone call AJ Johnson a future future superstar. Like, what are we doing here? But he's starting today. I guess we didn't mention him. He's playable. And then Kobe Jones is out. All right, Jokic, Paul Reed. First Spurs in, probably Champagne. Are we plug? Oh, I guess we can't fit Mamu in here, can we?
Yeah, he's power forward.
Oh, we do want to fit Mamu then. We're putting him in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so that gives us Mamu, Champagne. What other Spur do you want to put in here?
Let's see. And Jalen Martin's kind of in play now. Let's see.
Jalen
Uh,
Martin. What team is Jalen Martin on?
Washington with Kobe Jones getting ruled out. He
Ah,
probably runs
gotcha,
the
gotcha.
backup point,
What was his price?
and he's
Jalen
actually
Martin.
not horrible.
So he's 3,800, 4,100. We're taking 24 minutes of Kobe Jones away. Martin's not going to go in the dummy or anything, but he's a pivot to the other guys. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind him. Al Horford officially out. Drew Holiday out. Kristaps Porzingis out. Great.
Don't really do anything.
Jalen Brown's in.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got. You have a stud you want to pay up for? Donovan? Oh, you don't like Donovan. Is there another stud you like?
I reran and I got to a little bit of Donovan. Still under the field, but I just like Jokic.
I'm going to plug in Donovan Mitchell since he's like the model approved pay up, but if you find another pay up, go for it. We still have 6,200 with 3 spots left, and we have Jokic and Donovan Mitchell in there. Power these min price guys.
Yeah, seems pretty solid.
OG?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Again, you can swap out OG. We're not as on him as we are the last couple of days. We still like him a lot, though.
Yeah, I think Najee is another pretty good one.
I'm not into this on DraftKings, but I went against what Nick asked for yesterday, and that ended up being bad.
I really just want pieces from this Atlanta Dallas game. Like you have the closest spread, best total on the slate. It just seems like a really good game to get into.
Yeah, definitely. That's the. I mean, those. That's the. That's how you win the tournament today. Get the right Spurs guys and then hit from that game if that's the one. I mean, we could plug in like Delon Wright at point guard here. Kason Wallace, Struess, Isaiah Joe, Chris Paul. Yeah, Chris Paul, Tim Hardaway, Pele Larson, Delon Wright, depending how contrarian you want to get.
Yep.
We have options. Yeah, just mix and match, fellas. See if we need last minute questions in the chat. That's a good one. Yeah, if you're not playing Jokic, who are you paying up for? Because we have all the salary, and it's like Jokic doesn't have to put up 80 to be in the winning lineup. Like yesterday was one of the first days in a couple weeks that this like you needed the guy that super went off. The last slates haven't been like that. But appreciate you guys tuning in. We will see you tomorrow. Good luck.